The Pacific cod, Gardus macrocephalus, is a species of ray-finned fish in the family Gadidae. It is a bottom-dwelling fish found in the northern Pacific Ocean, mainly on the continental shelf and upper slopes, to depths of about 900 meters, 3,000 feet. It can grow to a length of a meter or so and is found in large schools. It is an important commercial food species and is also known as gray cod or gray cod, and grayfish or grayfish. Fishing for this species is regulated with quotas being allotted for hook and line fishing, pots, and bottom trawls. Fossils have been found in Canada near a Steller sea lion fossil dating to the Pleistocene. It has 3 separate dorsal fins, and the catfish-like whiskers on its lower jaw. In appearance, it is similar to the Atlantic cod. A bottom dweller, it is found mainly along the continental shelf and upper slopes with a range around the rim of the North Pacific Ocean, from the Yellow Sea to the Bering Strait, along the Aleutian Islands, and south to about Los Angeles, down to depths of 900 meters, 3,000 feet, 500 fathoms. It may grow up to 1 meter, 40 in length and weigh up to 15 kilograms, 33 pounds. It is found in huge schools. Molecular genetic analyses strongly suggest that Pacific cod and Greenland cod, Gardus ogac, from Greenland Arctic Ocean are the same species and that G. ogac should be a junior synonym of G. macrocephalus. Today, it is in the catalogue of life list Gardus ogac as synonym of G. macrocephalus. In the Northeast Pacific, catches of Pacific cod by the United States trawl fishery and joint venture fisheries increased from less than 1,000 tons in 1979 to nearly 91,000 tons in 1984 and reached 430,196 tons in 1995. Today, catches are tightly regulated and the Pacific cod quota is split among fisheries that use hook and line gear, pots, and bottom trawls. The Sailor Sea population of Pacific cod is a U.S. National Marine Fisheries Service species of concern, one of those species about which the U.S. government's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration has some concerns regarding status and threats, but for which insufficient information is available to indicate a need to list the species under the U.S. Endangered Species Act, ESA. Cod fisheries are fisheries for cod. Cod is the common name for fish of the genus Gardus, belonging to the family Gadidae, and this article is confined to 3 species that belong to this genus: the Atlantic cod, the Pacific cod and the Greenland cod. Although there is a 4th species of the cod genus Gardus, Alaska pollock, it is commonly not called cod and therefore currently not covered here. Cod are demersal fish found in huge schools confined to temperate waters in the northern hemisphere. Atlantic cod are found in the colder waters and deeper sea regions throughout the northern Atlantic. The Pacific cod is found in both eastern and western regions of the Pacific. Atlantic cod can grow to 2 meters, 6.6 feet, in length. Its average weight is 5 to 12 kilograms, 11 to 26 pounds, but specimens weighing up to 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, have been recorded. Pacific cod are smaller, and may grow up to 49 centimeters, 19 in, and weigh up to 15 kilograms, 33 pounds. Cod feed on mollusks, crabs, starfish, worms, squid, and small fish. Some migrate south in winter to spawn. A large female lays up to 5 million eggs in mid-ocean, a very small number of which survive. Cod has been an important economic commodity in international markets since the Viking period, around AD 800. Cod are popular as a food fish with a mild flavor, low fat content and a dense white flesh. When cooked, cod is moist and flaky. Cod livers are processed to make cod liver oil. Cod are currently at risk from overfishing. In the United Kingdom, Atlantic cod is one of the most common kinds of fish to be found in fish and chips, along with haddock and plaice. It is also well known for being widely consumed in Portugal and the Basque Country, where it is considered a treasure of the nation's cuisine. Cod are highly prolific, producing several million eggs at each spawning. This contributes to their high population numbers, which, in turn, makes commercial fishing relatively easy. Adult cod are active hunters, feeding on sand eels, whiting, haddock, small cod, squid, crabs, lobsters, mussels, worms, mackerel, and mollusks, supplementing their diets. Young cod eat the same but avoid larger prey. Northwest Atlantic cod stocks were severely overfished in the 1970s and 1980s, leading to their abrupt collapse in 1992. Atlantic cod is a well-known demersal food fish belonging to the family Gaddidae. In the western Atlantic Ocean, cod has a distribution north of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and round both coasts of Greenland. In the eastern Atlantic it is found from the Bay of Biscay north to the Arctic Ocean, including the North Sea and Norwegian Sea, areas around Iceland and the Barents Sea. It can grow to 2 meters, 6 feet 7 in length. Its average weight is 5 to 12 kilograms, 11 to 26 pounds, but specimens weighing up to 100 kilograms, 220 pounds, have been recorded. Sexual maturity is generally attained between 2 and 4 years, but can be as late as 8 years in the northeast Arctic. The Atlantic cod can change color at certain water depths, and has 2 distinct color phases, gray-green and reddish-brown. Coloring is brown to green with spots on the dorsal side, shading to silver ventrally. Lateral line is clearly visible. Its habitat ranges from the shoreline down to the continental shelf. Several cod stocks collapsed in the 1990s, declined by greater than 95% of maximum historical biomass, and have failed to recover even with the cessation of fishing. This absence of the apex predator has led to a trophic cascade in many areas. While the Northwest Atlantic cod stocks have not yet recovered fully from overfishing in the past, most stocks in the East Atlantic are currently in good condition and well managed, such as those at North Norway and Svalbard. In the early 2000s, the European Union introduced a cod recovery plan which covers the North Sea, Incle, the Eastern English Channel and the Kattegat, the Irish Sea and waters to the west of Scotland where cod has continued to decline. Citation needed. It is broadly accepted that the plan has been a failure and has not delivered its objective of recovering the cod stocks in these areas because of the plan's over-reliance on effort, days at sea, that created an indiscriminate race to fish, which in fact increased fishing mortality on the biomass for cod, on other demersal species and had a destructive impact on the benthic zone of the seabed where it is intensely fished. Citation needed. On the other hand, conservation initiatives undertaken by fishermen working in cooperation with government, such catch quota management, have made a very meaningful contribution to the recovery of cod in the central and northern North Sea. Citation needed. The biomass of cod in the Irish Sea and west of Scotland remains depleted. A temporary cod plan that excludes a days at sea regime will apply from the 1st of January 2017 before this is superseded by new multi-species plans for individual sea bassi. Pacific cod is an important commercial food species. It has 3 separate dorsal fins, and the catfish-like whiskers on its lower jaw. In appearance, it is similar to the Atlantic cod. A bottom dweller, it is found mainly along the continental shelf and upper slopes with a range around the rim of the North Pacific Ocean. From the Yellow Sea to the Bering Strait, along the Aleutian Islands, and south to about Los Angeles, down to the depths of 900 meters, 3,000 feet. They may grow up to 78 to 79 centimeters and weigh up to 15 kilograms, 33 pounds. It is found in huge schools. In Northwest Pacific, catches of Pacific cod by the United States trawl fishery and joint venture fisheries increased from less than 1,000 tons, 1,100 short tons, in 1979 to nearly 91,000 tons, 100,000 short tons, in 1984 and reached 430,196 tons, 474,210 short tons, in 1995. Today, catches are tightly regulated, and the Pacific cod quota is split among fisheries that use hook and line gear, pots, and bottom trawls. Greenland cod is generally somber-colored, ranging from tan to brown to silvery. Its appearance is similar to that of other cod species, generally heavy-bodied, elongate, usually with a stout caudal peduncle. They can grow to a length of 80 centimeters, 3-1 in. They are bottom fishers inhabiting inshore waters and continental shelves, up to depths of 200 meters, 660 feet. Their range covers the Arctic Ocean and Northwest Atlantic Ocean from Alaska to West Greenland, then south along the Canadian coast to the Gulf of St. Lawrence and Cape Breton Island, generally from 45 to 75 degrees north. Their wholesome flesh is whitish and flaky, but firmer and tougher and less desirable than that of the Atlantic cod. The stock of Greenland cod has been strongly reduced in recent years. The Northeast Atlantic is the world's largest population of cod. By far the largest part of this population is the Northeast Arctic cod, as it is labeled by the ICES, or the Arcto-Norwegian cod stock, also referred to as scry, a Norwegian name meaning something like the wanderer, distinguishing it from coastal cod. The Northeast Arctic cod is found in the Barents Sea area. This stock spawns in March and April along the Norwegian coast, about 40% around the Lofoten archipelago. Newly hatched larvae drift northwards with the coastal current while feeding on larval copepods. By summer the young cod reach the Barents Sea, where they stay for the rest of their life, until their spawning migration. As the cod grow, they feed on krill and other small crustaceans and fish. Adult cod primarily feed on fish such as capelin and herring. The Northeast Arctic cod also shows cannibalistic behavior. In 2012, the biomass of the Northeast Atlantic cod stock was estimated to be at an all-time high since scientists started observing stock status some 100 years ago. The North Sea cod stock is primarily fished by European Union member states and Norway. In 1999, the catch was divided among Denmark, 31%, Scotland, 25%, the rest of the United Kingdom, 12%, the Netherlands, 10%, Belgium, Germany and Norway, 17%. In the 1970s, the annual catch rose to between 200,000 to 300,000 tons. Due to concerns about overfishing, catch quotas were repeatedly reduced in the 1980s and 1990s. In 2003, ICES stated that there is a high risk of stock collapse if current exploitation levels continue, and recommended a moratorium on catching Atlantic cod in the North Sea during 2004.
We're getting a bit of harper off this line, so hopefully you'll see some more.
However, agriculture and fisheries ministers from the Council of the European Union endorsed the EU-Norway agreement and set the total allowable catch, TAC, 27,300 tons. The spawning stock of Northeast Arctic cod was more than 1 million tons following World War II, but declined to a historic minimum of 118,000 tons in 1987. The Northeast Arctic cod catch reached
That wasn't bad, Abby.
Known as a popular sport
Keep
fish,
coming, eh?
Pacific cods are found in the western part of the US from California up to Alaska. These fish tend to stick to the open waters and can be caught by drift fishing, saltwater jigging, still fishing, bottom bouncing, and saltwater trolling. Because they aren't picky eaters, these fish will respond to a variety of baits and shiny lures. The Pacific cod is a close relative to the Atlantic cod, although a little smaller. The Pacific cod has small, curved scales, a big mouth, and a barbel on its chin. It is grey to brown in colour with lighter shades on the sides and belly. It has spots on its back and sides. The Pacific cod's fins are dark brown, with white edging on its singular
so it
fins.
keeps the gear off the bottom. And you normally get the fish around the floats.
Its average size is 20 to 25 inches long with an average weight of 5 to 10 pounds. The Pacific cod dwells along the northwestern Pacific coast from Alaska to California. It can also be found in the China Sea.
Bubbles coming up.
It is most
Always a good
plentiful
sign.
during its spawning season, which occurs in winter and early spring. One of their favorite spawning grounds is Prince William
Trumpeter
Sound.
as well.
Outside of spawning season, these fish generally stick to the open seas in areas with depths from 60 to 1,500 feet deep. Pacific cods are a popular
And
sport
sea perch.
fish. Though they don't fight as much as trout, they are very strong. These fish like to hang out near the bottom, so fly fishing for them can be tough. To have the best chances of catching them with a fly, it is recommended to wait until the evening when they come near the surface. The best way to catch a Pacific cod is by dropping bait to the bottom of the ocean from a slowly moving or anchored boat. Anglers often use a 6 to 7.5 foot fast action rod, coupled with 50 to 80 pound braided line.
See the sea perch and the hooker on the same hook.
Other
so
methods to try when fishing
caught a
for the
sea
Pacific
perch,
cod
and
are
it
drift
acts like a
fishing,
bloody-
saltwater
like a live
jigging,
bait.
and saltwater trolling.
The harper will come
Pacific
along and gobble the
cods
sea
aren't
perch
picky
and you
eaters,
get
though some
two
baits
fish for
work
one.
better than others. Good choices for bait, whether whole or cut up, are crabs, Atlantic cod in Newfoundland
Right,
and
I better
Prince
go and
Edward
put it back in
Island.
gear.
While they're closely related, there are some differences in their appearance. Atlantic cod are typically larger than Pacific cod and their color varies from gray to red-brown. While Pacific cod is darker, Pacific cod are aggressive feeders and aren't too picky about their food. This makes them an easier target, especially for novice anglers. They are usually found in large schools on the bottom. Even if you're commonly caught off the Washington coast by commercial harvesters using otter trawls and longline gear. Recreational harvest within Puget Sound is now closed, with the exception of restricted fishing in the San Juan Islands and Strait of Juan de Fuca. The quality of Pacific cod can vary substantially depending on how well it was handled at sea. The highest quality is produced by freezer longliners, which process fish on board a short time after bringing it aboard. Factory trawlers can produce a high-quality product as well, if tows are short and fish is processed promptly. Most Alaskan trawlers delivering to shore-based processing plants hold their fish in refrigerated seawater tanks. Since the fish is not bled, its meat is normally not as white. Buyers should note that most all of the Pacific cod from the US West Coast is marketed as fresh fillets, while Pacific cod from Alaska is nearly all frozen.